Hi there, Tim from K-On here. Today we're looking at the rear door kitchenette. Now this accessory here adds a heap of functionality to your vehicle, so we've been refining this for a while, and today we're going to show you how to install it. Now this is compatible with most of our rear door setups, so let's get to it. When you get your kit, you'll get the kitchenette extension, the pop-up sink and the pole, and all the hardware you need. You don't need anything else to get this to all work. Now the way it works is this attaches to the end of your rear door table and is located with a little locking tab. So that's the first thing we need to do. Let's locate the locking tab and get it installed. In your hardware kit, find the locking tab. It looks like this, and to install it you'll need a 5mm Allen key and a 13mm spanner. Now if you're installing this from scratch, you want to locate this locking tab at the point where you need to install the hinge bolt. Now this table's already been installed, so the first thing we actually need to do is to remove this bolt. So I'll go ahead and remove that bolt, and then I'll show you how to install the locking tab. Just remove this bolt with the Allen key and your spanner. Just be careful you don't drop the table when the bolt comes through. I'll just get this nut off first. And then before I pull that bolt all the way out, I'll explain to you where this locking tab needs to sit. Now in between the table and the bracket, there is a washer in there. Now what we want is we want the washer, then the locking tab, and then the rear door table. So I'll remove this now. Holding the table up so we don't lose everything. Grab my washer. We want to position the tab as shown, so we want the tab up against the door, then the washer that was in between the table and the bracket, we want to place that on this side of the locking tab. Now we'll just slide it in there, and what I'll do is I'll just drop this first and get this all to line up first. Get the washer on that bolt there as well, and lift it back up onto the bracket and push it through. Put the nut back on and tighten it all back up. So if it's done correctly, this tab should be hard up against the table. You got the washer and then the bracket. Okay, we want to tighten up this tab. Now when we tighten this up, make sure it sits flat. So just hold that down while we're tightening it. So I'll go ahead and tighten it. And we just want to get that nice and firm. I'm going to hold that tab down so it's positioned correctly, and that feels about right. So the tab's in place. So it does two things. It stops the extension from lifting up, and it's also got a locating slot there to lock the extension in place. Now the reason why we went with a locking tab was to make this retrofittable and not have to drill any holes or anything like that. The other thing that we considered too is when we fold this closed, it clears the door. So that's why it's important to hold it flush when you're tightening. So that's your install pretty much done. Now when we developed this accessory, we had a good think about how you might store it. So we've come up with a way to actually store it within the table and hold it in place with a couple of clips. Now I'll show you how to do that. Just sits inside the table there. We just need to line it up so it clears the cage. We've got a couple of clips. Now these clips here have a very satisfying locking action, and that holds that kitchenette down flat on the table, no rattles, and everything clears. You can fold it all up and you're right to go. We've supplied the pole, and we've also had to think about how you might store that pole. Now, a couple of clips included with the kit. You could attach it to the bottom of your shelf on the mollies. You could drill into your vehicle and attach it in a really handy spot, for example here, and it just clips into place like that. With the sink that we provided, it's a readily available collapsible sink. You can get it at most camping stores, so if you lose it or damage it, you should be able to replace it fairly easily. It's a nice one, it's got a drain plug and also doubles as a dish rack. Now being collapsible, really easy to store. Put that in your drawers or up on your shelf. Let's run over how to set up the kitchenette. Make sure you've got your pole and your sink at hand. Open up the rear door table. I like to set up the height of this pole first, so just lock it at the height of the table. Make sure it's close at hand. Unclip the kitchenette. Now this just hangs over the end of the rear door table. Slide it forward and just make sure the tab locks into the hole on the locking tab, and then Attach it with the bungee cord. Grab your pole, just lock it in place. Now that's perfect. Sink, extend it through, and your clips. We even thought about that as well. Got a place for them so you don't lose them. They just clip in here, and you're ready to go. Now to pack it away, just do it in reverse. So there you go, install's all done. Now the process is the same whether you have a 70, a 150, Pajero, Jimny, or even a GU. Now if you want to find out a little bit more about why this setup might be good for you, check out our other video.